Welcome to Spain, a land of passion, color, history, and heart. From its golden beaches to ancient palaces, vibrant festivals to quiet mountain towns, Spain is a country that speaks to the soul. But what makes Spain so incredibly beautiful? Why is it one of the most visited countries in the world? And what's the story behind its rich history, especially the powerful Muslim legacy that shaped so much of what we see today? Let's dive into the beauty of Spain, with a special focus on Barcelona, Madrid, Malaga, and the Islamic influence that left a lasting mark. Spain is a country of contrasts. You've got snow-capped mountains in the Pyrenees, sun-soaked beaches along the Costa del Sol, endless olive groves in Andalusia, and even volcanic landscapes in the Canary Islands. This diverse geography makes every corner of Spain feel like a different world. Want a lazy beach holiday? Head to the Mediterranean coast. Craving a hiking adventure? Explore the Sierra Nevada. Looking for stunning countryside? The rolling hills of Castilla y León will take your breath away. But it's not just the scenery, it's the spirit of the people. Spain's culture is warm, passionate, and proud. Flamenco in Seville, bull runs in Pamplona, La Tomatina in Buñol. Every region celebrates life in its own way. Family, food, and fiestas are at the heart of everyday life here. And everywhere you go, there's a sense of living in the moment, what Spaniards call vivir el presente. Let's talk about Barcelona, a city where art meets architecture, where the sea touches the city, and where every corner feels like a painting. Let's talk about Barcelona, a city where art meets architecture, where the sea touches the city, and where every corner feels like a painting. This is the home of Antoni Gaudí, whose works like La Sagrada Familia, Park Güell, and Casa Batlló are unlike anything else in the world. Barcelona is where creativity runs wild. From the Gothic quarter's narrow medieval streets to the colorful markets like La Boqueria. And if you love food, you're in heaven here. Tapas, fresh seafood, Catalan cuisine, all served with a side of Spanish charm. Plus, the nightlife? Electric. From rooftop bars to beach clubs, the city never sleeps. Now, if Barcelona is the artist's soul, Madrid is the heartbeat. The capital city is grand, royal, and full of energy. The Royal Palace, Puerta del Sol, Plaza Mayor, these aren't just landmarks, they're pieces of living history. And let's not forget the art museums. The Prado, Reina Sofia, and Thyssen hold some of the most important works in European history. Madrid is also where you truly taste the Spanish lifestyle. Long dinners, late nights, and a love for conversation that's impossible to ignore. Now let's step back in time. One of the most fascinating chapters in Spain's history is the Muslim era, which began in the 8th century when Muslim armies entered the Iberian Peninsula. For nearly 800 years, parts of Spain were ruled under Al-Andalus, a Muslim-ruled region that gave the world incredible advancements in science, art, architecture, and philosophy. Cities like Cordoba, Granada, and Seville became centers of knowledge, tolerance, and culture. And some of the most breathtaking architecture in Spain comes from this era, like the Alhambra Palace in Granada and the Mezquita of Cordoba. Even today, you can see the Arabic calligraphy, geometric patterns, and arches that define Islamic architecture, a timeless legacy of a brilliant empire. The Alhambra Palace, perched on a hilltop in Granada, is a stunning example of Islamic architecture. Its name, derived from the Arabic word Alhambra, meaning the red one, refers to the reddish hue of its walls. This palace complex, originally constructed as a small fortress in 889 AD, was later transformed into a royal palace by the Nasrid Emir Mohammed ben Al-Ammar in the mid-13th century. The Alhambra is not just a single building, but a sprawling complex of palaces, gardens, and fortifications, each showcasing the exquisite craftsmanship and artistic sensibilities of the Islamic world. As you wander through the Alhambra, you're immediately struck by the intricate stucco work, the delicate arabesques, and the mesmerizing muqarnas that adorn the ceilings. The Court of the Lions, one of the most famous parts of the Alhambra, features a stunning fountain supported by 12 marble lions, symbolizing strength and power. The Hall of the Ambassadors, with its grand dome and intricate wooden ceiling, was the throne room of the Nasrid rulers and a testament to their architectural prowess. Moving on to the Mezquita of Cordoba, this grand mosque is another masterpiece of Islamic architecture. Originally built as a small mosque in 785 AD by Abd al-Rahman Fat, it was expanded over the centuries to become one of the largest mosques in the world. The Mezquita is renowned for its forest of columns and double arches, which create a sense of infinite space and light. The red and white voussoirs of the arches are a distinctive feature, adding to the mosque's visual appeal. The mihrab, or prayer niche of the Mezquita, is a marvel of Islamic art. It is adorned with intricate mosaics and gold leaf, reflecting the opulence and grandeur of the Umayyad Caliphate. The Mezquita also features a stunning courtyard, known as the Patio de los Naranjos, filled with orange trees and a tranquil fountain, providing a serene space for reflection and prayer. Islamic architecture is characterized by its use of geometric patterns, which are not only aesthetically pleasing, but also carry deep symbolic meanings. These patterns, often based on mathematical principles, reflect the Islamic belief in the unity and order of the universe. The use of arabesques, or flowing interlacing patterns, is another hallmark of Islamic art, symbolizing the infinite nature of creation. Arabic calligraphy is another defining feature of Islamic architecture. Often used to decorate walls, domes, and arches, calligraphy is considered a high art form in the Islamic world. The elegant script, often featuring verses from the Quran, adds a spiritual dimension to the architectural spaces, reminding the faithful of the divine presence. The use of light and shadow is also a key element in Islamic architecture. The play of light through intricately carved screens, known as mashrabiyah, creates a dynamic and ever-changing environment. This interplay of light and shadow is not only visually stunning, but also serves to enhance the spiritual atmosphere of the space. The influence of Islamic architecture can be seen far beyond the borders of the Islamic world. In Spain, the Mudéjar style, which combines Islamic and Christian architectural elements, is a testament to the cultural exchange that took place during the medieval period. The Alhambra and the Mezquita are prime examples of this fusion, showcasing the harmonious blending of different artistic traditions. Today, the legacy of Islamic architecture continues to inspire architects and designers around the world. The principles of balance, harmony, and beauty that underpin Islamic architecture are timeless, resonating with people of all cultures and backgrounds. Whether in the grand palaces of Granada or the serene courtyards of Cordoba, the brilliance of Islamic architecture shines through, a testament to the enduring legacy of a remarkable civilization. But like all great empires, the time of Al-Andalus eventually came to an end. By 1492, with the fall of Granada, the last Muslim stronghold, the Catholic monarchs Ferdinand and Isabella completed the Reconquista, a campaign to restore Christian rule over Spain. The story of the Reconquista is one of the most fascinating and complex chapters in the history of the Iberian Peninsula. It spanned nearly 8 centuries, beginning in 711 AD, when the Moors, a Muslim people from North Africa, crossed the Strait of Gibraltar and swiftly conquered most of the Iberian Peninsula. The Moors brought with them a rich culture, advanced knowledge in science, medicine, and architecture, and a spirit of tolerance that allowed Christians, Jews, and Muslims to coexist relatively peacefully for many years. However, the Christian kingdoms in the north of Spain never fully accepted Moorish rule. They began a slow and arduous process of reclaiming their lands, a process that would come to be known as the Reconquista. This was not a single continuous war, but rather a series of battles, truces, alliances, and betrayals that ebbed and flowed over the centuries. The Christian kingdoms of Castile, Aragon, Navarre, and Portugal each played crucial roles in this long struggle. One of the most significant turning points in the Reconquista was the Battle of Covadonga in 722 AD, where a small Christian force led by the nobleman Pelayo defeated a much larger Moorish army. This victory is often considered the beginning of the Reconquista and the establishment of the Kingdom of Asturias, which would become a beacon of Christian resistance. As the centuries passed, the Christian kingdoms grew stronger and more unified. The marriage of Ferdinand of Aragon and Isabella of Castile in 1469 was a pivotal moment, as it united two of the most powerful Christian kingdoms and set the stage for the final push against the Moors. Ferdinand and Isabella were determined to complete the Reconquista and restore Christian rule over the entire peninsula. The final act of the Reconquista began in 1482 with the siege of Granada, the last remaining Muslim kingdom in Spain. The siege lasted for 10 years, with both sides suffering heavy losses. The Moors, led by their last king Boabdil, fought valiantly to defend their city, but they were ultimately outmatched by the superior numbers and resources of the Christian forces. On January 2, 1492, Boabdil surrendered the city of Granada to Ferdinand and Isabella, marking the end of Muslim rule in Spain. The fall of Granada was a momentous event, not only for Spain but for the entire world. It marked the end of an era and the beginning of a new one, as Spain emerged as a unified Christian kingdom poised to become a global power. The Reconquista had profound and lasting effects on Spain and its people. It led to the establishment of a strong, centralized monarchy under Ferdinand and Isabella, who would go on to sponsor Christopher Columbus's voyage to the New World later that same year. The discovery of the Americas would usher in a new age of exploration and conquest, with Spain at the forefront. However, the Reconquista also had darker consequences. The Catholic monarchs were determined to create a unified Christian state, and this led to the persecution and expulsion of Jews and Muslims from Spain. The Spanish Inquisition, established in 1478, sought to root out heresy and enforce religious conformity, often through brutal means. Many Jews and Muslims were forced to convert to Christianity or face exile, and those who remained were often subject to suspicion and discrimination. Despite these darker aspects, the legacy of Al-Andalus and the Reconquista is still evident in Spain today. The architectural wonders of cities like Granada, Seville, and Córdoba, with their stunning palaces, mosques, and gardens, stand as a testament to the rich cultural heritage of the Moors. The blending of Christian, Muslim, and Jewish traditions has left an indelible mark on Spanish art, music, and cuisine. In conclusion, the Reconquista was a complex and multifaceted process that reshaped the Iberian Peninsula and set the stage for Spain's emergence as a major European power. It was a time of great conflict and upheaval, but also of cultural exchange and transformation. The fall of Granada in 1492 was the culmination of centuries of struggle and the beginning of a new chapter in Spanish history. But like all great empires, the time of Al-Andalus eventually came to an end. By 1492, with the fall of Granada, the last Muslim stronghold, the Catholic monarchs Ferdinand and Isabella completed the Reconquista, a campaign to restore Christian rule over Spain. The story of Al-Andalus is one of cultural flourishing, scientific advancements, and architectural marvels. For nearly 8 centuries, this region in the Iberian Peninsula was a beacon of knowledge and tolerance, where Muslims, Christians, and Jews coexisted and contributed to a rich tapestry of civilization. The Alhambra, with its stunning palaces and gardens, stands as a testament to the artistic and intellectual achievements of this era. However, the decline of Al-Andalus was a gradual process, marked by internal strife and external pressures. The once unified Muslim rule began to fragment into smaller competing Taifa kingdoms. These divisions weakened the region, making it vulnerable to the growing power of the Christian kingdoms in the north. The Reconquista, a series of military campaigns initiated by the Christian states, aimed to reclaim territories lost to Muslim rule. The fall of Granada in 1492 was the culmination of this centuries-long struggle. The city, known for its strategic location and cultural significance, was the last bastion of Muslim power in Spain. The siege of Granada was a protracted and grueling affair, lasting for months. The defenders, led by the Nasrid ruler Boabdil, fought valiantly, but were ultimately outmatched by the superior forces of Ferdinand and Isabella. The surrender of Granada was a momentous event, symbolizing the end of Muslim rule in Spain and the triumph of the Catholic monarchs. The terms of surrender were initially generous, allowing the Muslim population to continue practicing their religion and preserving their customs. However, these promises were soon broken, leading to forced conversions, expulsions, and the eventual erasure of the rich Islamic heritage that had once thrived in the region. The fall of Al-Andalus had far-reaching consequences, not only for Spain, but for the entire world. It marked the beginning of a new era of exploration and conquest, as Ferdinand and Isabella turned their attention to overseas ventures. The same year that Granada fell, Christopher Columbus set sail on his historic voyage, opening the door to the age of discovery and the subsequent colonization of the Americas. Despite the end of Muslim rule, the legacy of Al-Andalus continues to resonate. The architectural wonders, such as the Alhambra and the Great Mosque of Cordoba, attract millions of visitors each year, serving as reminders of a time when different cultures and religions coexisted and thrived. The scientific and philosophical contributions of scholars from Al-Andalus laid the groundwork for the Renaissance and the modern scientific revolution. In modern Spain, the influence of Al-Andalus can be seen in the language, cuisine, music, and traditions that have been passed down through generations. The region's history is a source of pride and a reminder of the complex and multifaceted nature of Spanish identity. Efforts to preserve and celebrate this heritage continue, with cultural festivals, academic research, and restoration projects aimed at keeping the memory of Al-Andalus alive. The story of Al-Andalus is a poignant reminder of the impermanence of empires and the enduring power of cultural exchange. It teaches us that even in times of conflict and division, the blending of different traditions and ideas can lead to remarkable achievements. As we reflect on the end of Al-Andalus, we are reminded of the importance of tolerance, understanding, and the shared human quest for knowledge and beauty. In conclusion, the fall of Granada in 1492 marked the end of an era, but the legacy of Al-Andalus lives on. It is a testament to the heights that human civilization can reach when diverse cultures come together in a spirit of mutual respect and collaboration. The story of Al-Andalus is not just a chapter in history. It is a timeless lesson in the value of cultural diversity and the enduring impact of intellectual and artistic pursuits. While this ended an era of Muslim rule, the cultural impact remains deeply woven into the fabric of Spanish identity. The music, the food, the architecture, even the language, all carry echoes of that rich Islamic past. Let's head down to the southern coast, to Malaga, one of Spain's most beautiful and underrated gems. Surrounded by mountains and facing the sea, Malaga blends ancient history with a modern Mediterranean vibe. This is the birthplace of Pablo Picasso, and the city proudly celebrates its artistic roots. You can explore Roman ruins, Moorish castles like the Alcazaba, and modern museums, all within walking distance. But what truly makes Malaga shine is its food. Seafood paella, grilled sardines known as espeto, and local wines that rival any in Europe. Dining here is an experience, slow, social, and full of flavor. So, why should you visit Spain? Because it's not just a destination, it's a feeling. A place where every sunset is a celebration, every street tells a story, and every bite tastes like tradition. Whether you're walking the artistic streets of Barcelona, soaking in the royal elegance of Madrid, tasting fresh seafood in Malaga, or standing in awe under the arches of a centuries-old mosque, Spain will leave a mark on your heart. So pack your bags, bring your curiosity, and come see why Spain isn't just beautiful, it's unforgettable. Gracias for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more adventures like this one. Hasta pronto!